Welcome to the Sleep Route. If you are ready to fall asleep, please fasten your seatbelts and let's start our story. The first whispers of dawn in an Ottoman city would often bring with them the faint, distant sounds of awakening, the call of a muezzin, the gentle clatter of a distant cart, perhaps the soft murmuring of voices from a nearby street. But for many, especially as the sun began to climb and cast its soft, golden light upon the mosaic-tiled domes and red-tiled roofs, a different rhythm would begin to assert itself, the quiet, purposeful journey to the hamam. Instead, there was a tranquil hum, a sense of anticipation. You might see a woman, perhaps with a young daughter, or a servant her pestimal, a traditional, often striped woven cloth, neatly folded under her arm. Here the light often filtering through high. Small windows or a central dome would fall softly on ornate wooden benches or raised platforms. Covered with clean, soft towels, people would sit for a moment, perhaps sipping a glass of sherbet offered by an attendant. Allowing their bodies to adjust to the nascent warmth, their minds beginning to unwind. Its high ceilings provided a sense of openness, while the soft light filtering through the dome or upper windows created a soothing ambience. The wooden changing cubicles or raised platforms, often adorned with simple yet elegant carvings, invited one to linger, to shed the day's worries along with their outer garments. The presence of a small, tranquil fountain or a potted plant might add to the serene atmosphere, introducing elements of nature's quiet beauty into the man-made structure. The air was breathable, still cool enough to offer a refreshing contrast to the warmth that beckoned from deeper within, but gradually warming as the subtle currents of air from the inner chambers permeated the space. This gradual acclimation was key to the hamam experience, preventing any sudden shock to the senses and instead fostering a gentle transition into a state of deep relaxation. Imagine the feeling of the cool air on your skin as you carefully fold your clothes, the soft rustle of fabric, the gentle murmur of other bathers, all contributing to a peaceful auditory landscape. This initial phase of the hammam visit was not just practical, it was a psychological preparation, a subtle invitation to slow down, to breathe deeply, and to prepare for a journey inward. The camekan was the threshold, liminal space between the bustling outer world and the serene inner sanctuary, place where the transformation from mundane existence to blissful tranquility quietly began. The quiet conversations, often in hushed tones, added to the sense of intimacy and shared experience without disturbing the overall peace. This was a place where generations often gathered, grandmothers instructing younger girls in the quiet rituals, fathers sharing moments of calm reflection with their sons. The very air seemed to hold the echoes of countless such gatherings, each contributing to the enduring tapestry of the hammam's social and cultural significance. It was a space that, through its very design and atmosphere, encouraged a slowing of pace, a deepening of breath, and a gentle unburdening of the mind, preparing the individual for the profound cleansing and renewal that awaited within the warm embrace of the inner chambers. This measured pace, this quiet unfolding, was fundamental to the hammam's power to soothe and restore. The lingering scents, the soft light, the hushed tones, all conspired to create an environment where this transition from the external world to an internal state of peace was seamless and organic. A true testament to the thoughtful design of these timeless sanctuaries. Children, too, were often present, their quiet excitement, a gentle counterpoint to the adult serenity, They would observe their elders, learning the customs, the quiet respect for the space, the slow, deliberate movements. This shared experience, passed down through generations, solidified the hammam's role not just as a place of physical cleansing, but as a space for communal bonding and the transmission of cultural practices. It was here in the camekan that the first layer of the outside world was shed, preparing the individual for the deeper immersion into the hammam. Escort a journey into warmth, steam, and profound tranquility, a gentle unfolding of the self within the embrace of tradition and community. The anticipation was a soft, comforting presence, a prelude to the profound sense of peace that would soon envelop them in the warmer chambers. This was the changing room, the transitional space, where the outer garments were carefully removed and the pestimol was wrapped around the body. Imagine the slow, deliberate movements, the unfastening of a sash, the unwinding of a turban, the gentle folding of clothes into a niche or basket. There was no rush, no urgency. This initial act of undressing was itself a part of the ritual, a slow shedding of the mundane, a preparation for the immersive experience that awaited. The air in the camekan was subtly scented, perhaps with a hint of rose or orange blossom, carried on the gentle currents of steam escaping from the warmer inner chambers. This was not a place of hurried activity, but of quiet preparation, of allowing the body and mind to begin their gentle descent into relaxation. A small case or bowl for water tucked into a fabric bag and a small delicate flask of rose water or scented oil. Men, too, would make their way, often alone or in quiet groups, their own pestimols secured. Perhaps a small pouch of coins for the entrance fee and the services of a tellak or bath attendant. The hammam was not just a destination. It was an integral thread in the fabric of daily life, an expected, cherished part of the weekly or bi-weekly routine, woven into the very structure of their existence, with the same regularity as the 5 daily prayers. Imagine yourself, if you will, stirring from a deep sleep on a cool embroidered mattress, the air still carrying the scent of night. Yet even from the outside, there was a sense of something profound within, a subtle emanation of warmth, a faint, clean steam scent that hinted at the oasis of tranquility that lay beyond. The hammam was a sanctuary, a place where the clamor of the world outside could be gently shed, where the concerns of the day could dissolve like mist. Upon entering, the transition was immediate and palpable. The cool, quiet air of the outer world gave way to a gentle warmth, and the first sounds you would hear would be the soft lapping of water, the occasional hushed conversation, and the distant, almost musical clink of copper bowls. The day stretches ahead, full of the familiar routines of household or craft. But first, a visit to the bathhouse calls with its promise of warmth and quietude. The streets in these early hours were not yet bustling with the full energy of the marketplace. As you approach the hammam, the external architecture might appear modest, perhaps a sturdy stone building, its entrance often marked by a simple archway or a heavy wooden door. The first chamber, often called the camekan or sokaklak, was the grandest and coolest of the hammam spaces. The atmosphere was one of hushed reverence, a soft murmur of conversation sometimes drifting from a corner, but largely an enveloping quiet. The camekan itself was often a visually appealing space, designed to calm and welcome. In the opulent tapestry of the Ottoman Empire, where power and piety often intertwined, stood figures whose personal stories reflected the grandeur and complexities of their era. Among them, the powerful Sultan Suleiman, the Magnificent, and his beloved Roxolana, or Harem Sultan, occupied a central, captivating stage. Their love story itself a subject of fascination and legend. Also bore witness to the construction of one of the most magnificent hamams in Istanbul, a structure that silently speaks of their affection and Roxolana's enduring legacy. The architect chosen for this monumental task was none other than Mimar Sinan, the chief Ottoman architect, whose genius shaped the skyline of Istanbul and countless other cities across the empire. Imagine the bustling construction site, though, without the clamor and hurried pace of modern building. Instead, there would have been a rhythmic hum of activity, the careful carving of marble, precise laying of bricks, the meticulous positioning of lead domes. Stonecutters, masons, plumbers, and decorators, all working under Sinan's watchful eye, contributed their skills. Sinan's designs for public works always considered the broader urban fabric, ensuring that new structures integrated seamlessly into the existing environment. It wasn't just a building. It became a cherished institution. The revenues generated by the hammam or by other properties endowed to its WAQF would go towards its upkeep, ensuring that it remained a clean, welcoming, and accessible space for all. It is a quiet narrative of enduring love, social responsibility, and the profound impact of thoughtful design on daily life. It reminds us that even grand gestures can manifest in serene, enduring forms, creating spaces that foster well-being and community for centuries. The gentle steam, rising from its ancient stones, still carries the echoes of countless lives touched by its warmth. A silent, comforting testament to the vision of a remarkable woman and the genius of a legendary architect, woven into the very fabric of Istanbul's timeless rhythms. The longevity and continuous service of such a structure through the rise and fall of various societal phases speaks to a fundamental and unchanging human need for cleansing, both physical and spiritual, and the simple comfort found in shared, quiet spaces. This foresight and endowment meant that Harem Sultan's benevolent act would continue to benefit the public long after her passing. It transformed the hammam from a mere building into a self-sustaining, charitable entity, a living legacy that continued to serve the community for hundreds of years. This aspect of the WAQF system highlights a unique blend of philanthropy and practical management that characterized many Ottoman public works. Generations of Istanbulites found solace within its walls, creating a rich tapestry of shared experiences. It's a hum of quiet conversation, the gentle splashing of water, the soft calls of the tellaks and naders offering their services. These sounds became part of the city's auditory landscape, a constant comforting presence. Even during times of political upheaval or social change, the hammam remained a stable point of continuity, a place where the rhythms of daily life continued uninterrupted. Its survival, despite the passage of time and the myriad transformations of Istanbul, speaks volumes about its inherent value and its deep roots in the communal psyche. For Harem's hammam, it's meant not only choosing a central and accessible location, but also designing it in a way that harmonized with the surrounding imperial monuments. The hammam, while grand in its own right, did not seek to overshadow the majesty of the Hagia Sophia or the developing Blue Mosque complex. Instead, it offered a complementary presence, a serene counterpoint to the more imposing structures, contributing to the overall beauty and functionality of the imperial quarter. Imagine the quiet discussions between Harem Sultan's representatives and Mimar Sinan, poring over blueprints, considering the flow of people, the availability of water, and the most efficient methods of heating. Every decision was made with a deep understanding of both practical needs and aesthetic impact. The placement of the furnace, the orientation of the building to maximize light, the careful selection of marble for its durability and beauty, all were aspects of this thoughtful process. The selection of materials was paramount. High-quality marble, durable stones, and intricate tiles were brought from various regions of the empire, ensuring both longevity and aesthetic beauty. The hammam was designed with separate sections for men and women, each a mirror image of the other, reflecting the societal norms of the time, while providing equal access to the revitalizing waters. Sinan, a man of extraordinary vision and technical prowess, had already proven his mastery in designing mosques, bridges, and other public buildings. It stood as a testament to Harem Sultana's foresight and her profound connection to the city's inhabitants. Unlike many grand imperial projects, this hammam was not solely for the elite. It was built for the people, a place where merchants, artisans, scholars, and ordinary citizens could come to cleanse their bodies and soothe their minds. The hammam became an integral part of the daily rhythm of life in Istanbul. It's a silent witness to countless conversations, moments of quiet reflection, and the simple joy of physical renewal. For Roxolana's hammam, he was to create a masterpiece that would serve the public, while also reflecting the sophistication and grandeur of the imperial court. Its warm stones and gentle currents of steam have cradled generations, offering solace and cleanliness, while Suleiman and Roxolana's personal story of love and power played out within the walls of the Topkapi Palace. Their legacy extended far beyond, into the very fabric of the city's public life, symbolized by the enduring warmth and welcoming embrace of her hammam. It whispers of a time when imperial power found expression not only in conquest and governance, but also in acts of thoughtful benevolence that shaped the well-being of the populace for centuries to come, a gentle testament to their intertwined lives and the enduring power of their vision for Istanbul. Harem Sultan, originally an enslaved girl named Alexandra Lasovska from Ruthenia, rose from the Sultan's harem to become his legal wife, a feat unprecedented in Ottoman history. Her intelligence, wit, and formidable will captivated Suleiman, and their bond transcended the usual dynamics of imperial marriage. She became his confidant, his political advisor, and the mother of several of his children. As her influence grew, so did her desire to leave a lasting mark on the city and its people, not just through political maneuvering, but through acts of profound charity and public works known as WACs. These endowments, often funded by royal patronage, were intended to provide essential services and foster community welfare, and hammams were frequently at their heart. It was in this spirit of philanthropy and devotion that Harem Sultan commissioned the construction of a grand hammam in the heart of Istanbul, near the Hagia Sophia and the Blue Mosque, a stone's throw from the imperial palace. The construction of the Haseki Harem Sultan Hammam, as it came to be known, was a meticulous undertaking. The completion of the hammam was a significant event, a quiet celebration of public service and architectural achievement. Through the centuries, the Haseki Harem Sultan Hammam has endured, a living monument to the woman who commissioned it and the architect who brought her vision to life. The meticulous planning that went into the Haseki Harem Sultan Hammam extended beyond mere construction. The enduring popularity of the Haseki Harem Sultan Hamam over centuries is also a testament to its social integration. The hammam's charitable function, as part of a wukef, ensured its continued operation and maintenance. Thus, the story of the Haseki Harem Sultan Hamam is not just a tale of architectural prowess or imperial patronage. The Ottoman hammam, as we envision it today, with its serene atmosphere, its distinct architectural features, and its deeply ingrained social customs, did not emerge in a vacuum. Its lineage stretches back through centuries, drawing inspiration from a complex tapestry of ancient bathing traditions. Tracing these roots is like following a slow, meandering river, its currents carrying remnants of practices from bygone eras, each contributing to the rich, multifaceted bloom of the Ottoman bathhouse. The Byzantine Empire, the eastern continuation of the Roman Empire, carried forward many of these bathing traditions, albeit with their own unique adaptations. Ritual purity, or tahara, became a cornerstone of religious practice, particularly before prayer. Imagine the quiet excavation of a dusty site, the careful brushing away of millennia of earth, revealing the ghost of a hypocaust system beneath the floor, or the faint outline of a heated bench. These silent stones whisper of the continuity of human need for cleanliness and communal gathering. While the Romans reveled in grand spectacles and athletic pursuits within their baths, the Islamic world, and subsequently the Ottoman Empire, recentered the experience around themes of ritual purity and contemplative quietude. The loud gymnasium and philosophical debates of the Roman Thermi gradually gave way to the more subdued atmosphere of the Hamam, where personal hygiene was often intertwined with spiritual cleansing and social interaction. It was conducted in a more modest, hushed manner. Imagine the subtle shift in soundscapes from one era to the next, from the boisterous clamor of Roman exercise to the gentle whispers and lapping water of an Ottoman bathhouse. This transformation wasn't abrupt, but a gradual, organic process, reflecting changes in societal values and religious imperatives. They reveal how architectural elements like the domed roof with star-shaped perforations, designed to allow light to filter in like scattered diamonds while preserving privacy, gradually became characteristic. While the Romans often used wood fires, later iterations, including those perfected by the Ottomans, explored more efficient fuel sources. The domed ceilings, often pierced by small, star-shaped glass windows, were not just aesthetic choices. They created a celestial effect, allowing diffused light to filter down like scattered starlight, enhancing the sense of peace and transcendence. This subtle symbolism connected the earthly act of cleansing with a higher spiritual dimension, reinforcing the hammam's role as more than just a place of hygiene. It was a space for reflection, for purification of both body and soul. A quiet echo of the vastness of the cosmos reflected within its warm, steamy confines. This profound integration of practical function with symbolic meaning speaks to a deep cultural understanding of the human need for both physical and spiritual well-being. The evolution of decorative elements from Roman mosaics depicting mythological scenes to Ottoman iznik tiles adorned with intricate floral patterns also tells a story of changing artistic sensibilities and prevailing cultural values, all while serving the continuous purpose of creating an environment conducive to relaxation and sensory delight. The hammam, therefore, becomes a living archaeological site in itself, testament to the enduring human quest for purity, comfort, and communal solace. Its very stones whispering tales of transformations across the annals of time, to sophisticated flue systems to distribute heat evenly and prevent smoke from entering the bathing areas. This constant refinement in engineering speaks to a sustained commitment to comfort and efficiency across centuries. Archaeological findings frequently highlight the remarkable preservation of these underlying heating structures, revealing the meticulous planning involved in creating an environment of pervasive warmth. The discovery of intact lead pipes and terracotta conduits further illustrates the advanced understanding of fluid dynamics and insulation that allowed for the consistent delivery of hot water. The concept of the ghusl, a full-body ritual purification, necessitated clean water and dedicated spaces. They took the Roman and Byzantine structural elements and infused them with the spiritual imperatives of Islam, refined the social customs to create an institution that was uniquely Ottoman. The elaborate network of pipes for water flow, the efficient heating systems, development of specialized attendants like the tellak and natter, and the integration of refreshments like sherbet. All these elements were refined and perfected over centuries. The Ottoman Hamam became a harmonious blend of form and function, a space where ancient traditions met the evolving needs of a vibrant empire, where the past gently flowed into the present, offering its warmth and solace to generation after generation. This journey from fragmented origins to a unified, celebrated institution reveals a deeper assimilation and the enduring human desire for physical and spiritual renewal within a communal embrace. Thus, the public bathhouse, or hammam, became an indispensable institution in Islamic cities. The early Islamic baths, while often drawing upon Roman and Byzantine layouts, infused them with a distinct Islamic aesthetic and purpose. The focus shifted slightly from mere entertainment to a more profound blend of hygiene, spiritual preparation, and social interaction, often with separate sections for men and women to adhere to Islamic principles of modesty. As Christianity became prevalent, some of the more elaborate and pagan aspects of Roman bathing diminished. Yet the practical necessity and communal benefit of public baths persisted. The Byzantine baths, while perhaps less ostentatious than their Roman predecessors, continued to serve as important civic spaces. It was through this Byzantine continuity that many classical bathing techniques and architectural forms were transmitted to the emerging Islamic world. This exploration invites us to consider the echoes of forgotten rituals and the subtle evolution of a timeless practice. Long before the Ottomans established their sprawling empire, the act of communal bathing held profound significance in numerous cultures. The Romans, with their vast and elaborate public baths, the Thermae and Balnea, perfected the art of sophisticated bathing. These were not merely places for hygiene, they were social hubs, centers for exercise, intellectual discourse, and relaxation. Imagine the grandeur of the Roman baths. Soaring vaulted ceilings, intricate mosaics underfoot, the murmur of hundreds of voices echoing through the vast chambers. Compare the progression from cool to warm to hot rooms. The frigidarium, tepidarium, and caldarium became a fundamental template. While the Ottomans would later simplify and adapt this sequence, the core concept of a graduated experience of heat and water remained a resonant undercurrent. The Roman emphasis on public health and social gathering through bathing certainly provided a powerful antecedent. However, the influence on the Ottoman hammam was not solely Roman. With the advent of Islam, bathing took on an even deeper spiritual significance. Archaeological digs in ancient cities across the Near East have unearthed the remains of these early Islamic bathhouses, offering tantalizing glimpses into their structure and function. The Ottomans, inheriting this rich legacy from their Seljuk predecessors in the wider Islamic world, synthesized these disparate influences into their own distinctive hamam. The subtle process of cultural absorption and reinterpretation is particularly fascinating when examining the evolution of the bathing ritual. The ingenuity of the ancient heating systems, particularly the hypocaust, continued to evolve. Moreover, the architectural symbolism embedded within the hammam's design offers another layer of cultural exploration. While the public hammams bustled with the gentle murmur of daily life, offering their cleansing embrace to all, strata of Ottoman society, a distinct and often unseen world existed within the private confines of the imperial palace and the grandest mansions of the elite, the private hammam. These exclusive spaces were not merely smaller versions of their public counterparts. They were expressions of unparalleled luxury, privacy, and refinement, reflecting a lifestyle far removed from the everyday rhythms of the common citizen. But highly trained and discreet personal servants, often women for the female members of the harem and eunuchs for the sultan. Their movements were graceful, their voices hushed, their touch gentle and skilled. While the public hammam fostered a sense of communal belonging and shared experience, the private hammam represented the pinnacle of individual luxury and exclusivity. Consider the quality of the light, often designed to be soft and diffused, perhaps filtering through stained glass panels or carved alabaster windows, casting gentle, colorful patterns on the steam-filled air. They were often located in the most secluded wings of palaces or mansions, accessible only through private courtyards or hidden passages, ensuring absolute discretion. This spatial separation mirrored the social distance between the elite and the common populace. While the public hammam was a place of democratic interaction, where social hierarchies might momentarily blur in the shared pursuit of cleanliness, the private hammam underscored the distinct privilege of its occupants. It served as a reminder of their elevated status, testament to a life lived in exquisite comfort and shielded from the daily struggles of the outside world. This contrast highlights the dual nature of the hammam in Ottoman society, a universally cherished institution, yet one that also provided a vivid demonstration of social stratification. The opulence of the private hammam, with its shimmering tiles, its fragrant air and meticulous service, was a silent, powerful assertion of rank, a hushed testament to a life lived in the lap of luxury. Utterly removed from the bustling, shared warmth of the public bathing experience, yet equally integral to the broader cultural appreciation of cleanliness and well-being. The sounds were equally curated. The gentle gurgle of a small decorative fountain, the quiet whisper of steam, the soft clink of delicate silver bowls against marble. There was an absence of the external world's cacophony, replaced by a symphony of gentle, calming sounds. Even the selection of the water itself could be a deliberate act of luxury. With some palaces having access to private springs or specially purified waters believed to possess unique therapeutic qualities. The temperature would be meticulously controlled, adjusted to the precise preference of the bather, ensuring an environment of ultimate comfort without effort or interruption. Yet both in their own unique ways underscored the profound importance of the bath in Ottoman culture. As a place of cleanliness, a bather might spend hours in this secluded sanctuary, not just for cleansing, but for deep contemplation, reading, or even quiet contemplation of personal affairs. The transition from one stage of the bath to another, from the warm steam to the gentle scrub, then to the final rinse and the tranquil repose, was performed with a leisurely grace that amplified the feeling of being utterly pampered. Post-bath refreshments were also elevated. Rare fruits, exquisite pastries, and exotic beverages, all served on fine porcelain or silver trays, added to the overall sense of indulgence. The attendants, often trained from a young age in the delicate arts of personal care, understood the unspoken needs of their charges, anticipating every desire with quiet efficiency. Their presence was more akin to skilled artisans performing a specialized craft than mere servants. Renewal and a silent steaming stage upon which the diverse rhythms of Ottoman life, from the humble to the magnificent, gently unfolded. This quiet opulence, hidden behind palace walls, was a testament to a world where comfort and beauty were meticulously crafted for the most elevated, a serene counterpoint to the vibrant public pulse of the empire. They would offer meticulous scrubbing with silk kesk gloves, followed by effleurage with scented oils, culminating in a thorough rinsing. The entire process was unhurried, a long, languid ritual designed to soothe both body and mind. While the servants carefully dried their hair and applied exquisite perfumes, after the bath, the Sultan, or a member of his family, would recline on soft cushions, perhaps sipping a meticulously prepared sherbet or a strong sweet coffee. Imagine stepping into a realm where every detail, from the scent in the air to the texture of the towels, was meticulously curated for the comfort and pleasure of its privileged occupants. And wealthy merchants also boasted their own smaller, yet equally luxurious private bathing facilities within their konaks or mansions. These too would feature elegant marble, fine tiles, and carefully designed heating systems. While perhaps not on the imperial scale, they still offered a level of comfort and privacy far beyond the reach of the average Ottoman citizen. These private hamams served not only as places of personal hygiene and relaxation, but also as symbols of status and wealth, quiet declarations of their owners' refined tastes and privileged position within society. Within the sprawling Topkapi Palace in Istanbul, the Sultan's Hamam was a sanctuary of exquisite craftsmanship and personal indulgence. Unlike the public baths, where the focus was on communal well-being, the imperial hammam was designed for singular privacy and ultimate relaxation. Instead of simple soap, the Sultan and his family would have access to fragrant, handcrafted soaps infused with rare essences like ambergris, oud, or jasmine. The water itself might be subtly perfumed, perhaps with rose water or orange blossom water, gently warmed and poured from silver or gilded copper bowls. The towels were not coarse cotton, but silken pestimals, soft against the skin and absorbent, often embroidered with fine gold or silver thread. The air, thick with steam, would be further scented by burning exotic incenses and delicate censers, creating a truly immersive aromatic experience that lulled the senses into profound relaxation. The architectural design was often breathtaking, incorporating precious marbles, intricate Iznik tiles depicting lush floral motifs, and delicate mother-of pearl inlays that shimmered in the diffused light. The floors might be heated from below by sophisticated hypocaust systems, ensuring a consistent, comforting warmth that permeated every surface. The domes, instead of being perforated for light, might be adorned with painted celestial scenes or elaborate calligraphy, creating an atmosphere of ethereal beauty. The experience within a private hammam was an orchestrated symphony of sensory delights. The attendants in a private hammam were not the robust, bustling tellaks of the public baths. Beyond the Sultan's private hammam, the Grand Viziers, Pashas, the stark contrast between the bustling, democratic atmosphere of the public hammam and the secluded, opulent world of the private bath reveals the multifaceted nature of Ottoman society. The emphasis on sensory refinement within these private hammams was paramount. Furthermore, the rituals within a private hammam were often extended and personalized. The very architecture of these private spaces also reinforced their exclusivity. As the visitor moved beyond the cool embrace of the camekan, they would step through a transitionary passage, often called the aliklik, or intermediate warm room. This space served as a gentle prelude to the deeper heat, allowing the body to gradually acclimate. Imagine the subtle shift in temperature, a gradual rise in humidity, the air becoming softer, more enveloping. The domes overhead, often pierced by small, star-shaped glass lanterns, would diffuse the light into soft, shimmering patterns on the steamy surfaces below. Women would gather, often in groups, to chat quietly, share news, and admire each other's children. For them, the hammam was a vital social outlet, a space free from the prying eyes of men, where bonds of friendship and kinship were strengthened. Young women approaching marriageable age might be discreetly observed by potential mothers-in-law, a subtle, unspoken assessment of their health and demeanor. Its strategic placement directly above the furnace allowed it to absorb and radiate the most intense heat, providing therapeutic warmth that penetrated deep into the muscles. Imagine lying on this smooth, warm stone, feeling the heat seep into your back, your limbs, gently easing any tension. The vapor-rich air, humid and soft, would open the pores, preparing the skin for the thorough exfoliation provided by the tellak or nadir, the rhythmic motion of the scrubbing. The surprisingly effective removal of dead skin was often described as both invigorating and deeply satisfying, leaving the skin feeling incredibly smooth and renewed. This physical release contributed significantly to the mental relaxation that followed. Men, too, would engage in quiet conversation, perhaps discussing business, sharing anecdotes, or simply enjoying the camaraderie of shared relaxation. Within the private, steamy haze, where modesty was maintained by the pestimal, conversations flowed freely and often with a gentle confidentiality. The continuous gentle flow of water from the kurnas into the marble basins, the soft splashing as water was poured over the body, the rhythmic scraping of the kesk glove, these were not disruptive noises, but rather ambient sounds that blended into a harmonious backdrop for relaxation. The occasional murmur of voices, the soft sigh, or the gentle clearing of a throat were all part of this auditory landscape, never jarring, always contributing to the overall sense of peace. The entire environment was designed to soothe the senses, to quiet the mind, and to invite a profound sense of well-being, leaving the bather feeling not just physically clean but mentally refreshed and spiritually uplifted, ready to re-enter the world with a renewed sense of calm and clarity. The hammam, in its warm heart, truly served as a restorative haven, a place where the daily burdens gently melted away, replaced by a deep and abiding serenity. For women, it was a rare opportunity to gather outside the domestic sphere, to share stories, advise, and commiserate in a supportive environment. The lack of external distractions, The absence of the demands of the home or marketplace allowed for genuine connection and unhurried discourse. For men, similar bonds were forged, perhaps discussing business ventures or philosophical ideas in a relaxed, non-formal setting. These were interactions born of shared vulnerability and comfort, fostering a sense of community that went beyond superficial acquaintances. This gentle interplay of social interaction and personal tranquility was a defining characteristic of the Hamam experience. These luminous points, like distant constellations, created an almost celestial feel, enhancing the sense of peaceful detachment. With a soft, almost whispered invitation, they would offer their services. A thorough scrub with a Kess glove, removing dead skin with surprisingly satisfying results, followed by a luxurious soap massage, creating mounds of frothy, fragrant foam. It provided a short pause, a transitional moment where the last vestiges of the outside world could dissipate. The subdued lighting, often softer than in the camekan, hinted at the deeper, more profound quietude of the harem. Benches or alcoves in the aliklik allowed for a brief rest, perhaps for one to sprinkle a little water on their skin to begin the acclimation process, feeling the first gentle warmth. This intentional slowing down, this measured approach to entering the main heated chamber, was a crucial part of the hammam's ability to induce a state of deep calm. It was a physical manifestation of the psychological journey from hurriedness to serenity. Imagine the sensation of the warm, thick lather being spread over your body, the gentle, rhythmic strokes of the attendant, and the feeling of profound cleanliness that followed. This was not a hurried process. It was a slow, deliberate purification, a complete surrender to the soothing hands of another. The rhythmic nature of these movements, combined with the pervasive warmth and the gentle sounds of water, would often lead to a state of profound relaxation, blurring the lines between waking and sleeping. A deep and enveloping peace that permeated every fiber of one's being. The hammam, in its warm heart, offered not just cleanliness, but a restorative embrace, a quiet, profound balm for both body and spirit. The air was rich with the scent of warm marble, the subtle aroma of soap, and perhaps the faint, clean smell of freshly steamed towels. Water from hot and cold taps, often housed in beautifully carved marble basins called kurnas, flowed freely, allowing individuals to mix their preferred temperature. The sound of water splashing gently into these basins, the soft dripping from the dome, and the occasional sigh of contented relaxation formed a soothing symphony. Here, the first tendrils of steam might become visible, catching the filtered light, creating a hazy, ethereal atmosphere. This was a moment of slow adjustment, a quiet unfolding, preparing the senses for the true warmth that awaited. From the aliklik, a doorway would lead into the harem, or hot room, the very heart of the hammam. This was the central domed chamber, often surrounded by smaller, equally warm alcoves or cubicles known as havets. The design of the harem was a marvel of passive heating, a testament to Ottoman engineering and architectural ingenuity. Beneath the marble floor lay a complex system of hypocausts, chambers through which hot air and steam, generated by a large furnace, circulated. This radiant heat permeated the very stone, creating a uniform, pervasive warmth that enveloped the entire space. Imagine lying on the central raised marble platform, the göbektak, or belly stone, feeling the comforting warmth radiating up through your body, slowly relaxing every muscle. This was often the warmest spot, directly above the furnace, designed for deep relaxation and the loosening of impurities. The harem was not a place for boisterous activity. Rather, it was a realm of hushed conversations and the gentle sounds of water. Within this warm embrace, the hammam became a social stage, albeit one performed in hushed tones. The tellak would move through the harem with practiced ease, their presence a comforting and efficient part of the ritual. The subtle architecture of the alikalak was often designed to prepare the bather not just physically but also mentally. The camekan, the central heated marble slab in the harem, was more than just a warmed surface. It was the focal point of the physical cleansing and relaxation. Beyond the physical sensations, the harem was a space that fostered a unique kind of social intimacy. The sounds within the harem were crucial to its calming effect. The grandeur and longevity of the Ottoman Hamam owe an immeasurable debt to the genius of Mimar Sinan, the chief Ottoman architect during the zenith of the empire. Born around 1488, Sinan's life journey from a Devrim recruit, a Christian boy conscripted into Ottoman service, to the empire's most celebrated architect, is a testament to his extraordinary talent and dedication, but also paragons of sophisticated heating and water management systems. At the heart of his design philosophy was the meticulous control of heat and steam. He used robust, heat-resistant stone and mortar, ensuring that the heavy domes and walls could endure the stresses of temperature fluctuations. He understood that the experience of bathing was not just about cleansing, but about relaxation and contemplation. His designs became the blueprint for countless bathhouses across the Ottoman Empire, influencing subsequent generations of architects and ensuring the hammam's place as a vital institution for centuries. For his hammams, this meant a keen eye on the internal flow of people, the optimization of natural light, and the acoustic properties of the various chambers. The domes, for instance, with their carefully calculated curvature, were not just for structural support or visual grandeur. They also helped to distribute the warm, moist air evenly throughout the harem, preventing cold spots and ensuring a consistent, enveloping warmth. The heating system was invisible, its warmth simply present. The water flowed freely and at the desired temperature, seemingly effortlessly, and light created an atmosphere of peace without harsh glare. This effortless functionality allowed bathers to fully immerse themselves in the experience, free from discomfort or distraction. His hammams stand today as silent testaments to a time when engineering was not merely about solving problems, but about creating environments that uplifted the human spirit and fostered a profound sense of well-being. Their ancient stones still radiating the comforting warmth of centuries of thoughtful design. His legacy is etched not just in stone, but in the enduring sense of calm and renewal that his bathhouses continue to offer, a timeless embrace that transcends the passage of ages. The small, star-shaped openings, often of colored glass, positioned to create a dappled celestial light that enhanced the tranquil atmosphere, transforming a simple bathing space into something more akin to a sacred grove. His genius in harmonizing form and function, in mastering the complex interplay of heat, water, and stone, left an indelible mark, ensuring that the quiet, steamy embrace of the Ottoman hammam would continue to offer its profound comfort and enduring beauty to all who sought its sanctuary. Marble, with its smooth, cool surface, became warm and inviting when heated from below, providing a tactile experience that was central to the hammam's appeal. His hamams were often integrated into larger khalai or charitable complexes, which might include a mosque, a madrasa, an imarat, and a caravanserai. This integrated approach meant that the hammam served as a vital component of a larger civic ecosystem, providing essential services to the community alongside education, spiritual guidance, and sustenance. This comprehensive urban planning reflected a deeper philosophy of societal well-being, where every aspect of community life was considered and catered for through thoughtful design and benevolent endowment. The hammam, in this context, was not an isolated entity, but a crucial node in the network of public services that defined a thriving Ottoman city. The subtle veining in the marble, revealed through the steam and diffused lights, added an organic beauty to the otherwise structured environment. The use of lead for roofing and pipework, while practical for insulation and water tightness, also contributed to the longevity of the structures, allowing them to withstand centuries of use and the changing seasons. Sinan's understanding of the properties of different materials allowed him to craft buildings that were resilient, functional, and aesthetically pleasing in equal measure. A silent testament to his unparalleled engineering prowess and aesthetic vision. The serene proportions, the graceful arches, the subtle play of light and shadow, all contributed to an atmosphere of profound tranquility. He designed his hammams to be efficient and long-lasting, but also to be beautiful and spiritually uplifting. His works were not merely buildings. They were sophisticated machines of comfort, carefully calibrated to provide a perfect environment for bodily and mental renewal. His use of lead for domes and for ceiling joints was not merely decorative, but highly functional, providing excellent insulation and weatherproofing. The star-shaped glass lanterns in the domes, a characteristic feature, were not only for aesthetics but also served a crucial purpose. They allowed natural light to filter in. While their small size minimized heat loss and maintained privacy, imagine the complex unseen network beneath the hammam floor. Sinan perfected the hypocaust system, a method inherited from Roman times, but refined with Ottoman ingenuity. Beneath the marble floors of the alikalak and harat chambers, he designed intricate networks of brick pillars, creating a hollow space where hot air and steam, generated by a large furnace located away from the main bathing areas, could circulate freely. This ensured a uniform and pervasive warmth that radiated upwards through the marble, creating a comforting, gentle heat rather than an oppressive one. His prolific career, spanning over 50 years, saw the construction of hundreds of buildings, mosques, bridges, palaces, and significantly, hammams. His approach to bathhouse design transcended mere aesthetics. It was a profound understanding of engineering, thermodynamics, and the human experience of warmth and water. Sinan's hammams, such as the Haseki Harim Sultan Hammam or the Klik Ali Pasha Hammam, are not only architectural masterpieces. Furthermore, Sinan meticulously managed the flow of water. Water was often sourced from natural springs or aqueducts, channeled into large reservoirs, and then heated in vast copper boilers, or su di polara, located near the furnace. From these boilers, a network of lead pipes, carefully insulated, carried the hot water to the kurnas or basins within the bathing rooms. Cold water was supplied through a separate system, allowing bathers to mix their preferred temperature. The ingenious part lay in the system of drainage and ventilation. Sinan designed subtle slopes in the marble floors to ensure efficient water runoff. preventing stagnant pools and maintaining hygiene. Ventilation shafts and strategically placed openings in the domes allowed excess steam to escape, preventing the air from becoming stifling while maintaining the desired humidity. Consider the practical challenges Sinan faced. Building structures that could withstand constant heat and moisture, prevent leaks, and remain structurally sound for centuries required an intimate understanding of materials. Sinan's commitment to functionality and durability was intertwined with his artistic vision. The legacy of Mimar Sinan and Hamam architecture is one of enduring excellence. Sinan's approach to architecture was holistic, considering not just the grand structural elements but also the minute details that contributed to the overall functionality and aesthetic harmony of a building. The materials Sinan chose were always selected for both their durability and their sensory qualities. Furthermore, Sinan's work extended beyond the individual structure to consider the urban context. The quiet brilliance of Sinan's engineering lay in its seamless integration with the user experience. Beyond its practical function of admitting light and allowing steam to escape, the dome of an Ottoman hammam held a deeper, more symbolic significance, echoing ancient beliefs and mirroring the celestial realm. This architectural feature, seemingly simple in its curvature, reveals layers of meaning that connect the earthly act of purification with profound spiritual concepts, inviting a quiet contemplation of the cosmos. To truly appreciate the hammam, one must look upward towards its crowning glory, discern the quiet whispers of geometry and faith. The domed structure itself, prevalent in Byzantine and Islamic architecture, was not merely an aesthetic choice. They were often based on complex mathematical principles, reflecting the belief that the universe was ordered and created with divine precision. These patterns, whether in the arrangement of the dome's apertures or the intricate tiling on the walls, were not merely decorative. They were visual meditations inviting the eye to follow their lines and curves, subtly guiding the mind towards contemplation of unity and infinity. The small size of the apertures minimized heat loss while still allowing sufficient natural illumination, creating an energy-efficient design. Furthermore, the varying sizes and spacing of these stars could be engineered to direct light to specific areas, or to create particular patterns on the camekan, enhancing the bather's experience. Imagine the subtle play of light that changed with the hour of the day, from the soft, rosy glow of dawn filtering through, to the sharper, more direct beams of midday, and finally to the fading golden hues of late afternoon. It was a space designed to elevate the everyday act of bathing into a ritual of cosmic significance, a place where the physical body was cleansed while the spirit found solace under a meticulously crafted, star-dappled sky. The enduring presence of these domes, some still whispering with the echoes of centuries of steam and quiet contemplation, invites us to look beyond their simple form and discover the intricate layers of cultural and spiritual meaning they quietly embody, a timeless invitation to gaze upward and find peace. This dynamic illumination added another layer of sensory richness to the hammam, making each visit a unique visual experience. The repetition and symmetry inherent in these designs could have a calming, almost hypnotic effect, contributing to the overall sense of tranquility within the hammam. The curved surfaces helped to dampen external noise, creating a quiet, echo-free environment that amplified the gentle sounds of splashing water and hushed conversations. This acoustic isolation further contributed to the sense of privacy and introspection. allowing bathers to fully immerse themselves in their thoughts or the quiet enjoyment of their surroundings. The very shape of the dome, in a sense, cradled the sounds within, creating a warm, comforting, auditory bubble that reinforced the feeling of sanctuary. The constant interplay of light through these patterns meant that the visual experience within the dome was ever-changing. A subtle, dynamic tapestry of illumination that shifted with the passage of the sun across the sky. These often depicted motifs of nature, stylized clouds, water patterns, or abstract floral designs, further blurring the lines between the built environment and the natural world, reinforcing the hammam's role as an oasis. While not as overtly narrative as some other forms of art, these subtle embellishments contributed to the overall aesthetic of quiet beauty and harmony. The use of a particular color palette, often cool blues, greens, and natural stone tones, also contributed to the calming effect, reinforcing the connection to water and nature. It represented the vault of heaven, the celestial sphere encompassing all creation. Researchers have found that the orientation of some hammams and the placement of their light openings correspond to astronomical alignments or specific times of day as steam rose and dissipated into the dome. It could be seen metaphorically as impurities rising and vanishing, leaving the bather purified and closer to a state of spiritual clarity. The entire journey through the hammam, from the cool outer chambers to the hot, steamy heart, and then back to cooler tranquility, mirrored a process of transformation, a journey from the earthly to the sublime. The dome poised above it all served as the ultimate destination for this symbolic ascent, a quiet testament to the profound spiritual undercurrents woven into the very fabric of Ottoman bathing culture, inviting a sense of profound peace and connection to something larger than oneself. This quiet contemplation, fostered by the subtle interplay of light, form, and symbol, was as much a part of the hammam experience as the physical cleansing, making it truly a sanctuary for both body and soul. A reflection of the greater cosmos, where the act of cleansing was elevated to a ritual of cosmic connection, suggesting a deliberate connection to the natural cycles of light and even the positions of celestial bodies. This deep integration of architecture with astronomical observation further reinforces the idea that the hammam was conceived as a microcosm. These luminous openings, arranged in intricate geometric patterns, were designed to filter light in a unique way. As sunlight streamed through them, it would cast dappled, shifting patterns of light and shadow on the steamy surfaces below, creating an ethereal, almost otherworldly atmosphere. Imagine the quiet dance of these light specks on the warm marble, twinkling like distant stars in a hazy sky. This effect was not accidental. It was a deliberate design choice intended to evoke the night sky, bringing the celestial heavens into the earthly realm of the bathhouse. It subtly reminded the bather of the cosmic order, of their place within a larger, harmonious universe. For bathers within the hammam, gazing up at the dome, particularly from the harem, could evoke a sense of universal expanse, feeling of being enveloped by a vast, protective canopy. This sense of enclosure, combined with the emanating warmth and steam, fostered a feeling of security and profound peace, reminiscent of a return to a primordial, comforting space. The circularity of the dome further emphasized this idea of wholeness and eternity, a perfect form without beginning or end, reflecting the boundless nature of the divine. The star-shaped perforations, often of colored glass, that typically pierced the hammam domes were far more than just windows. The geometric patterns themselves, particularly those found in Islamic art and architecture, were deeply symbolic. Archaeological analysis of existing hammams often involves studying the precise measurements and alignment of these domes and their apertures. Moreover, the dome, as a singular, elevated structure, symbolized the idea of a spiritual ascent. The meticulous arrangement of the glass stars within the dome wasn't merely decorative. It was a sophisticated method for controlling light and temperature. The acoustic properties of the dome were also carefully considered. In some hammams, the domes were not simply plain surfaces but adorned with subtle frescoes or relief carvings. Thus, the dome of the Ottoman hammam stands as a quiet testament to a profound architectural philosophy that seamlessly blended practical function with deep symbolic meaning. While grand public hammams served as communal hubs, and the Sultaness' private bath was a realm of unparalleled luxury, the rhythm of daily life for many Ottoman households, particularly those of modest means, involved a far more intimate and domestic approach to cleansing. This domestic hammam was, of course, far less elaborate than its public counterpart. It rarely featured grand domes or multiple heated chambers. Instead, it was often a single, modest room, typically tiled and equipped with a kurna fed by hot and cold water pipes. It was a place for minor ailments, where warm compresses could be applied, or a sick child could be gently soothed by the warmth and steam. Instead, the bathing ritual would adapt, perhaps involving a large copper basin in a secluded corner of the house, heated water brought from the outdoor fire, and the use of natural soaps. Even in these simpler settings, the emphasis on thorough cleanliness and the restorative power of warm water remained constant. The tiles, though perhaps less ornate than those found in public baths, would still be carefully chosen for their durability and ease of cleaning, often in calming shades of blue or green. The natural light, perhaps filtering through a single high window, would create a soft, intimate glow. From the grand public architectural marvels that served as social epicenters to the modest, intimate domestic bathing corners, the underlying principle remained the same: the profound importance of ritual, cleansing, and the restorative power of warm water. Each iteration, whether grand or humble, contributed to the pervasive cultural appreciation for hygiene, well-being, and the gentle art of self-care. The domestic hammam, therefore, stands as a quiet yet powerful symbol of this enduring cultural value, a hidden gem within the walls of countless homes, continuously offering its comforting embrace and quiet solace, ensuring that the rhythm of cleansing was deeply ingrained in the very fabric of daily life, providing its gentle benefits to every corner of Ottoman society. The sounds would be gentle: the quiet flow of water into the kurna, the soft splashing as a mother rinsed her child's hair, the contented sighs of a bather. This auditory landscape, combined with the gentle warmth and the familiar sense of home, created a deeply personal and comforting environment. It was a place where one could truly let go, where the private rhythms of life unfolded without external scrutiny. The spirit of the hammam, the quiet ritual, the sense of renewal, permeated even the most humble of circumstances. Family members might take turns heating the water, carrying it to the bathing area, and assisting each other with scrubbing. While public hammams had separate sections, the domestic bath offered complete seclusion, allowing for a more uninhibited and leisurely bathing experience. This privacy fostered a sense of personal sanctuary, a space where one could be truly at ease, away from the gaze of even close acquaintances. It was a space for quiet introspection, for unwinding after the demands of the day, or for preparing oneself for special occasions in serene solitude. This shared responsibility further strengthened familial bonds, turning a routine chore into a communal act of care. Imagine the simple luxury of having hot water readily available within one's own home, a comfort that would have been deeply appreciated, especially during colder months. This accessibility allowed for more frequent bathing, reinforcing the Ottoman emphasis on personal cleanliness as a foundational aspect of health and well-being. It was a space of restorative quiet after a long day of household chores. A personal retreat where one could unwind and refresh. The simplicity of these baths did not diminish their importance. Rather, it highlighted how deeply ingrained the practice of bathing was within the Ottoman cultural psyche, extending from the grand public sphere into the most private corners of domestic life. The heating system might be simpler, perhaps a small, dedicated furnace, or even just hot water brought in from the kitchen hearth. Imagine the quiet preparations for a bath in such a home. The sound of water heating, the gentle steam rising from a kettle, the soft rustle of fresh towels being laid out, and the simple domestic bathing corner illustrates the remarkable adaptability and pervasive importance of the bathing tradition in the Ottoman Empire. While the wealthy could indulge in lavish, custom-built sanctuaries, and the general public enjoyed communal warmth and social interaction, the fundamental act of cleansing and finding quiet solace in warm water was accessible in various forms to almost everyone. The domestic hammam, with its intimate scale and familial warmth, offers a poignant reminder that while luxury was a privilege, the comfort and solace of bathing were a universal need. Quietly fulfilled within the familiar walls of home, continuous thread woven through every layer of Ottoman society. From the imperial court to the humblest dwelling, each offering its own unique rhythm of cleansing and peace. The hamam, in this context, wasn't a separate, monumental building but an integral part of the home, a small, personal sanctuary where family rituals of hygiene and comfort unfolded in quiet privacy. It was where they performed their daily ablutions, where mothers bathed their children, and where young girls learned the rituals of personal care. These were intimate moments, unobserved by outsiders, fostering a deep sense of family bonding. The lack of grandeur was compensated by the warmth of familial connection. A mother might gently scrub her child's back with a kess, sharing stories or singing quiet lullabies, transforming the act of bathing into a moment of tender care and quiet instruction. The air would be filled not with the diffuse scents of a public hammam, but with the familiar, comforting aromas of household soaps, and perhaps the subtle scent of lavender or chamomile used to soothe and refresh. This contrasting view offers a glimpse into the diverse ways the concept of bathing was woven into the fabric of Ottoman society. In a typical Ottoman house, especially those in urban areas, a small, private bath or a designated bathing area was a common feature. For women in these households, the domestic hammam was a vital space. The domestic hammam also served practical purposes beyond simple hygiene. In rural areas or for the very poorest households, a dedicated hammam might not exist. This contrast between the grand public hammam, the opulent private palace bath, the small domestic hammam, was not just a utilitarian space. It often carried its own subtle charm and comfort. The process of bathing in a domestic setting often involved a collaborative effort. Furthermore, The domestic hammam provided a degree of privacy that was simply not possible in a public setting. For women, this was particularly significant. The contrasting scales of hammams across Ottoman society vividly illustrate the ingenuity and adaptability of the culture. As the sun began its slow descent, painting the Ottoman sky with hues of orange and rose, the rhythm of the hammam would gradually shift, moving towards a quieter, more reflective close. The clean, soft pestamol would be exchanged for cool, dry clothes, each garment feeling fresh and pleasant against the revitalized skin. The cool evening breeze, carrying the faint scent of jasmine or cooking fires, would feel wonderfully refreshing after the humid warmth of the bathhouse. The sounds of the city, which might have seemed clamorous earlier in the day, now took on a softer, more distant quality, muted by the lingering sense of inner calm. The feeling of well-being acquired at the bathhouse often translated into a more relaxed and amiable disposition, making for more pleasant social interactions. The hammam visit was a cherished pause in the week-'s rhythm, a time for self-care that allowed individuals to return to their responsibilities with renewed vigor and a calm mind. The lasting effects of the warmth and purification gently accompanying them back into the folds of their daily lives. Perhaps the individual would be more inclined towards quiet reflection, or leisurely cup of tea, or gentle conversation rather than engaging in strenuous activity. The desire to preserve the feeling of well-being fostered by the bathhouse would often lead to a more relaxed pace for the remainder of the day. For families, the return of a refreshed parent or spouse often brought a renewed sense of harmony to the household, the quiet contentment radiating outwards. The streetlights, if any, or the glow from open shop doors would cast long dancing shadows, creating a tranquil urban landscape. It instilled a sense of peace that lingered, a calm that extended beyond its physical walls and into the intimate spaces of home and family. The memory of the warmth, the steam, and the gentle touch of water would remain. A quiet echo in the senses, a comforting presence until the next visit. This gentle return from the communal warmth to the private comfort of home was a testament to the hammam, its profound ability to integrate physical cleansing with spiritual and mental renewal. A timeless ritual that offered a quiet, profound solace at the close of an Ottoman day. There was a profound sense of mental clarity that often accompanied the physical purification. The quietude, the warmth, and the rhythmic movements of the bath attendants allowed the mind to unwind, to shed the accumulated stresses and anxieties of daily life. This mental reset was as valuable as the physical cleansing, leaving bathers feeling refreshed, centered, and remarkably peaceful. Imagine the sensation of a mind unburdened, thoughts flowing gently like the quiet currents of water within the hammam, rather than rushing and tumbling. This state of profound mental serenity was a cherished outcome of the bathhouse visit. The walk home would be a quiet continuation of the relaxation, a moment for gentle contemplation. The familiar sounds and sights of the city would not intrude, but would simply exist as a gentle backdrop to the inner calm. The evening air, cooler and perhaps carrying the scent of dinner being prepared in neighboring homes, would be a welcome contrast to the humid warmth of the Harrit. The soft glow of lanterns, illuminating the winding streets, the occasional distant sound of a storyteller's voice bell. All these elements blended into a soothing urban symphony that complemented the bather's internal peace. or the quiet chime of a street vendor. Attendants might offer sweet sherbet or a small cup of Turkish coffee, a gentle stimulant to reawaken the senses after the deep relaxation. The conversations that drifted across the changing room would be softer now, perhaps tinged with the quiet satisfaction of a well-spent afternoon. There was no rush, no urgency to leave. Hamam encouraged a lingering sense of peace, allowing the body and mind to gradually adjust to the cooler air and the impending evening. For those who had spent a leisurely afternoon within its warm embrace, the transition back to the cool camekan, and then out into the gathering twilight, was a gentle re-entry into the world, often accompanied by a profound sense of refreshed tranquility. The feeling of utter cleanliness and renewed energy would often bring a sense of readiness for the evening. It's domestic rituals, preparing the evening meal, spending time with family, or simply enjoying the quietude of home. The hammam visit was not just a break from routine. It was a reset, allowing one to approach the remainder of the day, and indeed the week, with a fresh perspective and a tranquil spirit. Imagine the feeling of your skin, still tingling faintly from the warmth, the pores breathing freely, and a sense of lightness permeating your entire being. In the camekan, after the invigorating heat of the harem, bathers would take their time dressing, their movements slow and deliberate. Emerging from the hammam into the softly lit streets was a subtle sensory shift. For women, the return home from the hammam might involve a quiet, purposeful walk through familiar alleyways, perhaps a shared glance or a soft greeting with a neighbor. For men, the evening return might involve a leisurely stop at a coffee house, where they could enjoy a quiet smoke or a game of backgammon, the warmth of the hammam still a comforting presence within them. The lingering effects of the hammam experience extended beyond mere physical cleanliness. The journey home from the hammam, therefore, was often a continuation of this meditative state. Upon reaching home, the hammam's influence might subtly reshape the evening. The hammam, therefore, was not merely a place one visited. It was an experience that permeated the rest of the day, subtly altering the rhythm of life. Among the most captivating voices to record the vibrant tapestry of Ottoman life was that of Evliya Çelebi, a prodigious traveler and chronicler of the 17th century. His 10-volume Seyahatname, or Book of Travel, is an extraordinary compendium of observations, anecdotes, and cultural details from across the vast Ottoman Empire and beyond. For him, a visit to the local hammam was an essential part of understanding a city's pulse. He recounts anecdotes of conversations overheard, business deals quietly struck, and friendships forged within the steamy confines of the bath. He sometimes mentions the revenues they generated as part of Wukef endowments, highlighting their role in the financial well-being of charitable institutions. He notes the types of wood used to fuel the furnaces, the methods of water supply, and even the number of attendants employed. He often described the sensory specifics, the particular quality of the steam. In a certain bath, while he often chronicled the general activities, he also subtly hinted at the unspoken rules and accepted behaviors that governed these communal spaces. He would sometimes recount local tales about the founding of a bath, or the miraculous properties attributed to its waters, or even humorous anecdotes involving bath attendants. These stories, while perhaps not strictly historical, add a layer of cultural richness and reveal the emotional and imaginative connection people had with these institutions. They transformed the hammam from a utilitarian structure into a place imbued with myth and local character. a beloved landmark within each community. For instance, his accounts suggest a quiet respect for privacy, even in shared areas. It's the gentle, non-intrusive nature of the attendance services. He sometimes mentioned the specific days or times certain groups would visit, or the particular social occasions that might warrant a hammam visit, such as before a wedding or after a pilgrimage. These nuances reveal the hammam's intricate integration into the social calendar and its HSS role in marking significant life events, which he might liken to a gentle cloud. The specific texture of the kes used by a local tellak, or the unique flavor of a sherbet offered in a provincial hammam. These minute details bring the historical hammam to life, allowing a modern reader to almost feel the warmth and smell the scents that Kelebey experienced centuries ago. While there was a common architectural typology, Kelebey's descriptions reveal regional variations in style, size, and even the character of the bathing experience. A hammam in a bustling trade city might have a different atmosphere than one in a quieter, more rural town. This geographical spread, meticulously documented by Kelebey, underscores the hammam's pervasive presence throughout the Ottoman lands, serving as a unifying cultural institution despite local differences. His Sayahatnam remains an unparalleled resource for understanding the Ottoman hammam, not just as a building, but as a living, breathing part of the empire's cultural heart, a testament to the enduring human need for warmth, cleanliness, and quiet connection. All observed and beautifully rendered by one of history's most fascinating and eloquent chroniclers. His words are like a gentle, meandering stream, carrying us through the serene spaces of the past, allowing us to quietly experience the echoes of a bygone era. His descriptions are not analytical, but rather evocative. It's painting a picture that appeals directly to the senses, immersing the reader in his journey. These seemingly mundane details provide invaluable insights into the practical functioning of these complex public works, illuminating the unseen infrastructure that supported the serene experience of the bather. He notes the specific customs of different regions, the local variations in bathing rituals, and the particular types of refreshments served. For him, it was more than just a place of hygiene. It was a cornerstone of social life, a space for physical and spiritual renewal, and a reflection of Ottoman civilization itself. He often describes the feeling of profound cleanliness and relaxation after a bath. It's a sense of invigorated well-being that propelled him onward in his journeys. His writings, therefore, are not just historical records. They are personal testimonials to the enduring appeal and profound comfort offered by the Ottoman hammam, inviting us to see these spaces not just as buildings, but as living, breathing elements of a rich and vibrant culture experienced through the eyes of one of history's most observant and eloquent travelers. A gentle whisper of his journey echoing through the centuries. Imagine him, a quiet presence amidst the steam, his mind absorbing every detail, later to be meticulously transcribed into his sprawling manuscript. He often describes the particular qualities of the water, the architectural nuances of the domes, and the efficiency of the heating systems. Demonstrating his comprehensive curiosity, he details his experiences in countless bathhouses, from grand imperial establishments in Istanbul to simpler provincial hammams in distant corners of the empire. His descriptions are rich with sensory detail, painting vivid pictures of the warmth, the steam, the sounds of water, and the unique characters he encountered. He describes the bustling activity, the quiet moments of repose, and the various services offered by tellaks and naders. Within this rich narrative, the hammam frequently emerges as a recurring motif, a place of personal experience, social observation, and cultural significance, offering us a rare and intimate glimpse into these institutions through the eyes of a perpetual wanderer. Evliya Çelebi was not merely a tourist. He was a keen observer, often immersing himself in the local customs and daily routines of the places he visited. One of the most charming aspects of Çelebi's hammam narratives is his focus on the social dimensions. Çelebi's accounts also shed light on the economic and logistical aspects of hammams. Perhaps most importantly, Çelebi's Seyahatname reveals the deep cultural significance of the hammam. Evliya Çelebi's narratives are particularly valuable for their direct, first-person observations, offering a window into the hammam experience that goes beyond architectural plans or official documents. He also provided valuable insights into the etiquette and social dynamics within the hammam. Çelebi's curiosity extended to the legends and folklore associated with various hammams. His travels also highlighted the diversity of hammams across the empire. Beyond its functions as a place of hygiene and social gathering, warmth and steam, this aspect of the hammam reveals a subtle fusion of ancient medical knowledge, folk remedies, and spiritual convictions, transforming the bathhouse into a quiet sanctuary for physical and mental restoration. This exploration invites us to consider the unseen currents of belief that flowed through the warm waters of the hammam. From classical antiquity, the therapeutic benefits of bathing were well understood. The quiet, unhurried atmosphere, the enveloping warmth, and the rhythmic sounds of water created an environment conducive to introspection and emotional release. The mineral content of the water in these thermal baths was believed to alleviate various ailments from skin conditions to rheumatic pains. For Muslims, the ghusl, or full ritual purification, was a prerequisite for prayer and a means of spiritual cleansing. These bath attendants were not just servers. They were practitioners of a quiet, ancient art of bodywork. They understood the nuances of applying pressure, the appropriate use of heat and cold, and the subtle ways to encourage relaxation. In a world where medical science was still developing, the shared experience of seeking warmth and relief, the gentle conversations, and the sense of camaraderie could alleviate feelings of isolation and stress. The hammam became a space where people could unburden themselves, not just physically, but also emotionally. In a safe and supportive environment, this unstated social benefit, the quiet act of sharing space and silence, contributed significantly to the overall sense of well-being that bathers often described. It was a shared journey into tranquility. Their skilled hands, guided by centuries of accumulated wisdom, transformed the bathing experience into a truly restorative therapy. Regular visits were seen as a way to maintain good health, prevent illness, and keep the body supple and resilient. This proactive approach to well-being underscored the hammam's role not just in curing ailments, but in sustaining a healthy, balanced life. Thus, the hammam stood as a multifaceted institution, a quiet confluence of ancient medical wisdom, communal care, and spiritual reverence. Its warm waters whispering stories of healing and holistic well-being through the centuries. A timeless sanctuary for both body and a gently soothed spirit. Imagine the feeling of complete surrender to their gentle, practiced touch, allowing them to ease away the day's strains. The hammam provided the ideal setting for this, allowing individuals to purify themselves completely before engaging in acts of worship. This convergence of physical, mental, spiritual cleansing cemented the hammam's place as a holistic institution dedicated to well-being in its broadest sense. The quiet solace found within its walls, therefore, was a multifaceted gift. Physical comfort, mental clarity, and spiritual peace, all gently flowing from its warm, life-giving waters. A timeless tradition of quiet restoration. People would travel long distances to visit these specialized hammams, seeking solace and healing in their unique waters. These places became quiet centers of pilgrimage for those seeking relief. Their waters imbued with stories of countless cures and profound relief. It was believed that shedding the physical impurities also helped to cleanse the mind of worries and anxieties. Many would emerge from the hammam feeling not only physically refreshed, but also mentally clearer and emotionally lighter, as if a gentle weight had been lifted from their shoulders. This sense of renewal was profoundly valued and sought after. The smooth, natural marble was considered to be naturally purifying and grounding. The quality of the water, whether from a spring or a well, was carefully observed, with certain sources being prized for their purity or mineral content. Even the soaps and oils used were often crafted from natural ingredients like olive oil, bay laurel, or rose petals, chosen for their gentle cleansing properties and their soothing aromas, enhancing the overall sensory and therapeutic experience. The subtle scents permeating the warm, humid air were themselves part of the therapeutic ambience, calming the nervous system and inviting deeper relaxation. The Romans utilized their baths for exercise, massage, and hydrotherapy. The Islamic world, too, inherited and expanded upon this knowledge, often integrating the principles of humoral medicine, which emphasized the balance of bodily fluids. Warmth and steam were believed to open the pores, release toxins, and promote circulation, thereby restoring balance to the body. Imagine the gentle sensation of the heat permeating your muscles, slowly releasing tension, as if a quiet knot of worry were unraveling within you. This physical ease was believed to have a direct impact on overall health. The practice of massage within the hammam was not merely for relaxation, but was considered a therapeutic intervention. The tellaks and naders, through their skilled kneading and stretching, aimed to improve blood flow, alleviate muscle aches, and promote flexibility. The vigorous scrubbing with the kes glove was seen as essential for removing dead skin cells and stimulating lymphatic drainage, contributing to a sense of profound physical lightness and cleanliness. This was often followed by a gentle, soothing application of soap and warm water, culminating in a state of utter physical tranquility. Beyond the physical, the hammam was often perceived as a balm for the spirit. Certain hammams, particularly those built around natural thermal springs, were renowned for their specific healing properties. The belief in the spiritual purification offered by the hammam was also strong. The therapeutic understanding of the hammam's benefits was often passed down through generations, both informally within families and through the specialized knowledge of the tellaks and naders. Furthermore, the materials used in the hammam were sometimes believed to contribute to its therapeutic effects. The hammam also offered a form of quiet communal therapy. Finally, the long tradition of the hammam also encompassed the belief in its preventative health benefits. While the daily rhythm of the hammam was experienced by common citizens and royalty alike, its grand public spaces and, occasionally, Exclusive private facilities also played a subtle yet significant role in the intricate world of Ottoman diplomacy and international relations. For visiting ambassadors, foreign dignitaries, and royal guests, an invitation to the Hamam was not merely an offer of hospitality, it was a carefully choreographed cultural experience, quiet demonstration of Ottoman sophistication, and sometimes a stage for subtle, unspoken negotiations. The Ottoman Hamam would have been a revelation, a sprawling architectural marvel, filled with warmth, steam, and an atmosphere of serene luxury. The experience would begin not with a hurried wash, but with a slow, deliberate progression through beautifully appointed chambers. The sheer cleanliness and elegance would have immediately conveyed a sense of the empire's advanced civilization and its emphasis on bodily care and comfort. This was often the first subtle message, observing how a guest reacted to the unfamiliar rituals, their comfort with the communal environment, or their appreciation for the subtle luxuries, could provide valuable insights into their personality, resilience, and adaptability. These unspoken observations, conducted within the unhurried flow of the bath, formed another layer of diplomatic intelligence. Many European accounts from the Ottoman period express astonishment at the cleanliness, sophistication, the shared vulnerability of being partially unclothed, the reliance on the attendants for assistance, and the communal nature of the experience could subtly break down barriers. In a world of complex political intrigue, these moments of shared, unhurried relaxation could lay the groundwork for more genuine diplomatic exchanges. The atmosphere of quiet intimacy, the absence of the formal trappings of power, created a space where human connection could, however briefly, transcend diplomatic formality. It was a space where the rhythm of human interaction slowed, allowing for deeper engagement. And sheer scale of Ottoman public baths, often noting them as far superior to anything available in their own countries. Those who embraced the experience with grace and appreciation demonstrated a willingness to engage with Ottoman customs, which could be interpreted as a positive sign for future relations. Conversely, those who displayed discomfort or disdain might inadvertently send a message of cultural insensitivity. Thus, the Hamam became a quiet crucible where character and cultural respect were subtly observed and assessed, influencing future diplomatic interactions without a single word of direct negotiation being uttered. This immediate sensory impact served as a powerful nonverbal communication of Ottoman superiority in matters of hygiene and comfort, subtly undermining any lingering European prejudices about Oriental backwardness. These gifts were not just tokens, they were tangible symbols of the Hamam experience itself, intended to carry the memory of Ottoman hospitality back to the diplomat's homeland. The Hamam therefore functioned as a powerful instrument of soft power, subtly shaping perceptions and fostering relationships beyond the formal political arena. Its warm, steaming walls, silently witnessing centuries of delicate diplomatic dances, leaving a lasting impression of Ottoman grace and the profound cultural significance of cleanliness and profound comfort. The visual splendor of the marble, the intricate tiling, the soft light filtering through the domes, all contributed to an aesthetic experience that often surpassed European expectations, leaving a profound and positive first impression. Imagine a European ambassador arriving in Istanbul, accustomed to the more austere or purely functional bathing habits of their homeland. It offered a first-hand glimpse into a society that prioritized hygiene, communal well-being, and structured relaxation in a way that often contrasted sharply with European norms of the time. This immersion helped to break down preconceived notions and fostered a more nuanced appreciation of the empire. The hammam, therefore, was far more than just a place of washing. It was a silent ambassador, a cultural bridge, and an arena for a unique form of quiet diplomacy, where the language of hospitality and shared physical comfort could sometimes achieve what formal negotiations could not, leaving a lasting impression of Ottoman grace and subtle power. For distinguished guests, the hammam visit would be orchestrated with meticulous attention to detail. They would be attended by the most skilled tellaks or naders, perhaps even personally chosen by the Grand Vizier or a palace official. In the relaxed, unhurried atmosphere of the bath, away from the formal pressures of the divan or palace protocols, conversations could unfold with greater ease. The warmth and physical comfort could lead to a loosening of tensions, encouraging a more open exchange of ideas. A diplomatic impasse might subtly begin to soften amidst the steam, or a new avenue for discussion might gently emerge. Imagine two diplomats, stripped of their formal attire and titles, engaging in quiet discussion over a shared cup of sherbet. The shared vulnerability of the bathing experience perhaps fostering a rare moment of genuine connection. The finest silks and embroidered towels would be laid out, and the most exquisite, fragrant soaps and oils would be offered. After the bathing ritual, the guests might be served rare sherbets or delicate pastries, perhaps in a private alcove within the camekan, allowing for quiet conversation and reflection. This was not just a bath. It was an immersive sensory experience designed to impress and delight, creating a positive impression of Ottoman hospitality and refinement. Beyond mere impression, the hammam sometimes served as a discreet venue for informal diplomacy. Furthermore, a hammam visit could be a way for Ottoman officials to subtly assess the character of their foreign counterparts. Conversely, for the foreign guest, experiencing the hammam was an opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of Ottoman culture and its values. The element of surprise and delight for foreign dignitaries was a consistent feature of these hammam visits. The controlled environment of the hammam also made it an ideal space for fostering trust. Moreover, the hammam visit could serve as a subtle test of a diplomat's cultural adaptability and open-mindedness. The historical accounts often describe the gifts exchanged at these encounters: fine soaps, fragrant oils, and exquisite towels, further reinforcing the theme of luxury and personal care. As the lingering warmth of the hammam visit gently receded, replaced by the cool embrace of the Ottoman night, the bather would often find themselves in a state of profound peace, a quiet contentment settling over them like a soft blanket. The skin, thoroughly cleansed and invigorated, would feel remarkably supple. The muscles, loosened by the warmth and massage, would be free of tension. This physical ease would naturally lead to a calm mental state. The hammam visit, by resetting the body's rhythms and calming the spirit, provided an ideal foundation for a night of truly restorative sleep, allowing the subtle processes of bodily repair and mental rejuvenation to unfold undisturbed. The evening's gentle descent from the lingering warmth of the bath to the deep embracing quiet of slumber was a silent testament to the hammam. As holistic power, an enduring gift of peace and profound rest woven into the very fabric of Ottoman daily life. A quiet completion of a day well spent and senses gently soothed. The pillow, perhaps filled with soft natural fibers, would cradle the head gently, inviting further relaxation. The deep sleep would have allowed the body to repair and rejuvenate, and the mind to process and calm. This enduring sense of well-being, stretching from the evening's gentle descent into sleep through to the freshness of the new day, underscored the hammam's role as an essential pillar of Ottoman well-being. It was a timeless ritual that offered not just momentary respite, but a sustained sense of peace. In clarity, quiet gift that carried one effortlessly from the cares of the day into the embracing quiet of the night, leaving the spirit gently refreshed and the body profoundly rested. The air in the sleeping chamber might be subtly scented with natural aromas, such as dried rose petals or lavender placed in small sachets, adding to the soothing ambiance. Every element conspired to create an environment that was deeply conducive to rest. A quiet culmination of the hammam's restorative journey. The worries and distractions of the day, which might have felt heavy before the bath, would now seem distant, their edges blurred by the profound relaxation. The soft glow of oil lamps or candles would cast gentle shadows, creating an intimate and calming atmosphere. The sounds of the household would diminish to a gentle hum, perhaps the distant murmur of voices, the quiet clinking of dishes being put away, or the rhythmic breath of sleeping family members. There would be no harsh artificial lights or jarring noises to disturb the serene transition towards sleep. This harmonious interplay between the external environment and the internal state of tranquility was a key aspect of the hammam's overall restorative power. The air outside, now cooler, might carry the scent of newly bloomed night-blooming jasmine or the earthy aroma of damp earth after a light watering, subtly contrasting with the lingering clean fragrance of soap and steam that still clung to the skin. The gentle rise in core temperature during the hot bath, followed by the gradual cooling in the tellak and camekan, naturally prepared the body for sleep. This physiological readiness, combined with the mental relaxation, created a perfect synergy for drifting into a deep, uninterrupted slumber. The feeling of being utterly clean, inside and out, also contributed to a sense of comfort and freedom. Shedding the day's accumulated impurities, both physical and energetic. This profound sense of purification was not just about dirt. It was about a deeper, more holistic cleansing that prepared the individual for a fresh start the next day. The transition from the public hammam back to the private sphere of the home was a seamless flow, carrying the revitalized body and tranquil mind into the evening's final embrace, a descent into deep, restorative sleep. The body, having been thoroughly warmed and then slowly cooled, would be perfectly primed for rest. The mind, cleared of its daily clutter, would be less prone to restless thoughts. As one settled onto a comfortable mattress, perhaps of soft wool and cotton, covered with crisp, clean sheets, the lingering warmth in the limbs, and the subtle feeling of renewed skin would contribute to a rapid and profound drift into slumber. Imagine the sensation of closing your eyes, feeling the gentle release of every muscle, and the quiet fading of consciousness as the body and mind fully surrender to the call of sleep. Imagine the subtle changes as the day gently fades and the world outside softens into twilight, preparing for a night of quiet repose. The journey home from the hammam in the early evening would be characterized by a delightful sensation of lightness and cleanliness. Upon arriving home, the atmosphere would typically be one of quiet anticipation of the night. The household, having completed their daytime duties, would be preparing for a restful evening. For the recently bathed, the sense of refreshed energy was not one that invited vigorous activity, but rather a calm desire for gentle leisure. Perhaps a light, freshly prepared meal would be enjoyed, simple yet nourishing, savored with a heightened sense of taste and appreciation that often followed a hammam visit. The conversations, if any, would be soft and unhurried, reflecting the pervasive peace within the home. The post-hammam glow was particularly conducive to a deep and tranquil sleep. The dreams that followed such a peaceful descent might be exceptionally serene, perhaps filled with gentle images or a sense of floating lightness. The environment of the Ottoman home in the evening, after a hammam visit, would often align perfectly with the desire for profound rest. For those returning from the hammam, the body's internal temperature regulation would be optimized. Even the texture of the bed linen, often made from natural fibers like cotton or linen, would feel exquisitely comfortable against the freshly cleansed skin, enhancing the sensation of luxury and well-being. The morning after a hammam visit would often begin with a feeling of renewed vitality, a freshness that permeated both body and mind. While grand architects like Mimar Sinan left an indelible mark on the Ottoman hammam, the enduring function and daily operation of these vital institutions rested in the hands of countless anonymous individuals, whose lives were intimately tied to the rhythm of the bathhouse. These were the unsung heroes, the furnace tenders, the water carriers, the cleaners, and most intimately, the tellaks and naders. Their collective efforts, often unseen and unrecorded by history, ensured the seamless continuation of the hammam experience for centuries. It's a quiet testament to their dedication and the intricate web of labor that sustained these sanctuaries of warmth. Imagine the tireless work of the kalhank, the furnace tender. These individuals were not merely service providers. They were skilled practitioners of a deeply personal craft. They were the quiet gears in the magnificent machine of Ottoman well-being, their labor ensuring that the hammam continued to serve its community day after day, year after year, for centuries. Their days and nights were often spent in the warm, enclosed space of the kolhan, surrounded by the glowing embers and the subtle scent of burning wood. Their skills were typically passed down through apprenticeship, from elder to younger, ensuring the continuity of specific techniques for scrubbing, massaging, and preparing the bathing rituals. Imagine the meticulous care taken to ensure that the delicate marble surfaces remained smooth and unblemished, or that the intricate tile work shimmered under the diffused light. Their steady, unseen labor ensured that the architectural marvels of Sinan and others could continue to serve their profound cultural purpose. They were the quiet stewards of a timeless tradition, their efforts a continuous, gentle current flowing beneath the grand domes and warm marble, sustaining the hammam's ability to offer its restorative embrace to countless generations. Their stories, though not individually celebrated in history books, are quietly etched into the very stones they tended, a subtle, yet enduring testament to the human effort that breathed life into these serene spaces, allowing the gentle rhythms of cleanliness and peace to echo through the centuries. They would quietly move through the hammam during its quieter hours, their presence almost imperceptible, ensuring that every corner was pristine, ready for the next wave of visitors. Their commitment to hygiene and aesthetic presentation was crucial for maintaining the hammam's inviting atmosphere and upholding its reputation as a sanctuary of cleanliness. This intergenerational knowledge made them true artisans of comfort. They learned not just the physical motions, but also the subtle art of reading a bather's needs, anticipating when to apply more pressure, when to offer a moment of quiet rest, or when to simply provide a comforting presence. Their interactions, though professional, often developed into bonds of quiet trust and familiarity with regular patrons, adding another layer to the hammam's social tapestry. This isolation, however, is mitigated by the knowledge that their efforts directly contributed to the comfort and well-being of the entire community. They were the silent heart of the hammam, providing the very essence of its warmth. Their dedication, an often unseen foundation for the public's relaxation. The physical demands of shoveling fuel, clearing ash, and monitoring temperatures were significant, yet their work was performed with a steady, uncomplaining diligence that became part of the hammam's enduring character. Their stories, though often unwritten, are etched into the warm stones of the hammams themselves, a silent testament to the countless individuals whose dedication and quiet efforts sustain these enduring sanctuaries of warmth, cleanliness, and profound peace, a gentle, unseen current flowing through the grand history of the Ottoman bath. They were the gentle hands that scrubbed away impurities with the kesk glove, the strong hands that massaged tired muscles, and the soothing voices that guided bathers through the ritual. Their movements were rhythmic, almost choreographed, their touch both professional and comforting. They understood the human body, its tensions and its needs, and they provided a service that transcended mere physical care, offering a subtle form of quiet therapy. Their shift would often begin long before dawn in the dimly lit, often smoky kulhan or furnace room. It's located beneath the hammam. Their task was to meticulously stoke the massive furnace, feeding it with wood or other fuel, carefully regulating the heat to ensure a constant, pervasive warmth permeated the marble floors above. This responsibility fell to the dedicated team of cleaners, who would meticulously scrub the marble surfaces, ensuring every basin was sparkling, every floor pristine. Their quiet, efficient movements, often performed in the quieter hours, maintained the pristine sanctity of the space. Imagine the glistening marble after a thorough cleaning, reflecting the soft light from the domes, ready to welcome the next wave of bathers with its immaculate embrace. This was a physically demanding job, requiring strength and an intuitive understanding of the furnace's demands. The very comfort of every bather depended on their unseen efforts, the steady glow of the embers, their quiet contribution to the hammam's soothing embrace. Then there were the water carriers, who, in earlier times, might have manually transported vast quantities of water from nearby wells or cisterns to the hammam's reservoirs. Even with the advent of aqueducts and sophisticated plumbing, their role in maintaining water flow and ensuring a continuous supply of both hot and cold water was crucial. Their quiet movements, the clinking of buckets, or the gentle gurgle of water being channeled, formed a subtle part of the hammam's ambient sounds, a constant reminder of the unseen labor that kept the currents flowing. The cleanliness of the hammam was paramount, a reflection of its spiritual and hygienic purpose. But perhaps the most intimate and iconic figures in the hammam were the tellaks and naders. The lives of these anonymous builders and keepers were inextricably woven into the fabric of the hammam. The lives of the furnace tenders, in particular, were governed by the relentless rhythm of the fire. The tellaks and naders often came from families with a long tradition of working in the hammam. The role of the general maintenance staff, responsible for cleaning, polishing and minor repairs was equally vital. These anonymous hands collectively formed the lifeblood of the hammam. Beneath the bustling streets of modern cities that once formed the heart of the Ottoman Empire, there lie silent, buried secrets. The remains of countless hammams, their warm stones now cold, their intricate plumbing systems long since dry. The archaeological excavation of these lost bathhouses offers a poignant glimpse into urban history, revealing how deeply integrated these structures were into the fabric of daily life, and how their presence shaped the very contours of the communities they served. This exploration invites us to imagine the quiet echoes of a bygone era, waiting patiently beneath our feet. Was it due to changing urban landscapes, where new roads or buildings supplanted older structures? Each layer of earth carefully removed reveals another fragment of history, a shard of a pottery bowl, forgotten coin, or the faint outline of a heated bench. The robust stone foundations, the resilient lead pipes, and the sturdy hypocaust pillars have withstood centuries of geological shifts and urban development. They stand as silent sentinels, holding the echoes of warmth and human connection beneath the modern din. The rediscovery of these lost hammams not only enriches our understanding of Ottoman urbanism, but also serves as a poignant reminder that history is often literally beneath our feet, holding a small, broken piece of a kurna, or touching a section of a hypocaust pillar that once radiated warmth, creates a physical bridge across centuries. Why was one hammam built directly next to a mosque, while another stood in a residential quarter? What does the presence of a particularly elaborate private bath tell us about the social status of its original owner? These are the quiet questions that archaeologists grapple with, piecing together the subtle narratives that the silent stones reveal. Each newly discovered hammam adds another layer to our understanding of the cultural landscape, confirming the widespread adoption of bathing as a daily ritual. The ongoing process of discovery beneath modern cities reminds us that history is a dynamic entity, continuously revealing its hidden depths, and that the quiet, comforting legacy of the Ottoman hammam continues to resurface, whispering its timeless stories of warmth, community, and peace from beneath the very ground we walk upon. It allows one to imagine the laughter, the whispers, the quiet contemplation that once filled these spaces. This intimate connection brings history to life in a way that written accounts alone cannot fully achieve, making the past palpable and real, waiting patiently for us to listen to its quiet whispers, connecting us to a timeless human need for warmth, cleanliness, and community. A forgotten heartbeat beneath the rhythmic pulse of contemporary life. These small discoveries build a larger picture, helping archaeologists reconstruct the daily routines and social interactions that once filled these now silent spaces. The discovery of bathing implements or personal items can offer a particularly intimate connection to the individuals who once sought solace within these walls, making the past feel remarkably close, some might be remarkably preserved, with intact tilework and heating systems, offering a clear blueprint of their original layout. Others might be reduced to mere foundations, requiring imaginative reconstruction based on comparative architectural knowledge of other existing hammams. Regardless of their state, each discovery contributes to a richer, more comprehensive understanding of Ottoman urban life and the central role the hammam played within it. These fragments, no matter how small, are vital pieces of a larger historical puzzle. Were there shifts in water sources, making the hammam impractical to operate? Or perhaps, as was sometimes the case, did changes in social customs or economic conditions gradually diminish their patronage, leading to their quiet abandonment? Archaeologists consult old maps, historical documents, and even oral traditions to pinpoint potential sites and understand the context of their findings. Imagine the thrill of cross-referencing a faded 18th century map with ground-penetrating radar data, leading to the precise location of a long-forgotten bathing complex. This blend of scientific technique and historical detective work is essential for piecing together the full story of these subterranean treasures. The reasons are often complex and multifaceted, leaving behind intriguing clues for researchers to decipher from the silent stones. As modern cities expand and evolve, new construction often unearths the foundations of older settlements. When a digging crew encounters ancient stonework or unusual piping, archaeologists are called in to carefully peel back the layers of time. The size and layout of a buried hammam can indicate the prosperity of the neighborhood it served or the particular social dynamics of its patrons. The quality of the tiles, the type of marble used, or the sophistication of the water supply system can speak volumes about the wealth and aesthetic sensibilities of the era. The presence of smaller domestic bathing areas alongside grand public baths within a single excavation site illustrates the pervasive nature of bathing culture. From the communal to the private, it is in these quiet, meticulous excavations that the ghosts of lost hammams often emerge. Imagine the careful brushing away of centuries of soil, revealing a hypocaust system remarkably intact, or the subtle curve of a domed ceiling buried just beneath the surface. Each discovery is a whispered story from the past, a tangible connection to the daily lives of people long gone. These archaeological findings often reveal details that historical texts might overlook. One of the mysteries that archaeologists often ponder is why some hammams fell into disuse and eventually became buried. The process of excavating a lost hammam is a slow, meditative undertaking. The preservation of these subterranean hammams, even in ruins, is a quiet testament to the enduring quality of Ottoman construction. The delicate process of excavating a buried hammam often involves not just physical digging, but also painstaking historical research. The condition of the discovered hammams can vary greatly. One of the most profound aspects of unearthing a lost hammam is the tangible connection it provides to the people of the past. The challenge, and indeed the mystery, lies in interpreting the nuances of these buried structures. The Ottoman hammam, far from being a relic of the past, continues to exert a profound influence on modern Turkish society, and indeed on the broader global appreciation of traditional bathing practices. These restoration projects are not merely about preserving old buildings. They are about safeguarding a vital piece of cultural heritage. Imagine the patient work of artisans meticulously repairing delicate tile work, engineers reestablishing complex heating systems, and conservators cleaning centuries of grime from ancient marble. While traditional hammams remain popular, many contemporary spas and wellness centers worldwide draw inspiration from the Ottoman bathhouse. While the physical rituals can be replicated, the deep sense of community, the unhurried social interaction, and the quiet spiritual undertones are often harder to translate into a commercial spa setting. Restorers often work with archaeological data to ensure fidelity to original designs, utilizing traditional building techniques and materials where possible, while integrating modern advancements for structural stability or energy efficiency, ensuring the longevity of these precious sites. It features prominently in Turkish literature, poetry, and cinema, often symbolizing themes of beauty, purification, and social gathering. This ongoing cultural presence ensures that the hammam remains a cherished part of the national identity, a point of pride and connection to a rich historical past. It is a quiet, steaming bridge connecting the grandeur of the Ottoman past to the rhythms of modern life, continuously offering its profound sense of peace and renewal. Its continued existence, whether in its meticulously preserved historical form or in its modern adaptations, reminds us that some traditions imbued with deep cultural meaning and offering profound benefits can transcend centuries. Their warm whispers echoing through time, a gentle enduring invitation to find solace and a sense of profound calm. Its image evokes a sense of nostalgia and quiet comfort, even for those who may not visit regularly. This careful balance ensures that the historical integrity and authentic experience of the hammam are maintained for generations to come. While some modern spas might focus solely on the physical aspects, others attempt to reintroduce elements of the social and contemplative dimensions. For example, some offer specific hammam rituals that guide guests through the traditional progression, or provide quiet relaxation areas designed to replicate the serene ambience of the camekan. This continuous evolution and reinterpretation demonstrate the enduring power of the hammam, its core principles, and its capacity to meet contemporary needs for wellness and calm. Imagine the quiet dedication of these craftspeople, working patiently to breathe new life into ancient stones. Their movements as deliberate and rhythmic as the very rituals once performed within those walls. The subtle interplay of communal bonding and personal introspection, so central to the Ottoman hammam, requires a particular cultural context that is challenging to reproduce. In a world saturated with digital distractions and constant connectivity, the hammam provides a rare space where one can disconnect entirely, focusing purely on sensory experience and personal well-being. The lack of screens, the absence of hurried schedules, and the enveloping warmth create an environment where the mind can truly rest and rejuvenate. This intentional slowing down is a profound luxury in contemporary life, and the hammam offers it with an elegant, timeless grace. Yet the very attempt to do so speaks to the powerful and universal human need for the kind of holistic well-being that the hammam so perfectly provides. These modern interpretations might incorporate elements like steam rooms, heated marble slabs. Its ancient stones continue to whisper stories of countless lives that have found solace within its walls, and its warm embrace continues to offer a gentle antidote to the complexities of the modern world. Its legacy is not just in its architectural marvels, but in the continued flow of its warm waters, the quiet dedication of its keepers, and the profound sense of peace it continues to bestow, a timeless beacon of tranquility in an ever-changing world, a gentle echo of history continually unfolding into the present, always inviting us to slow down, to breathe, and to simply be. And traditional scrubbing rituals, albeit often with a contemporary twist or integrated into a broader range of spa treatments. This global spread of the hammam concept speaks to the universal appeal of its core offerings: warmth, water, cleansing, and relaxation. The essential elements distilled from centuries of practice continue to offer their profound benefits. These efforts ensure that future generations can experience the profound sense of peace and renewal that the Hamam has offered for centuries, allowing the quiet echoes of the past to continue to resonate. Its enduring legacy is visible in the meticulous efforts to preserve historic hammams, the quiet resurgence of traditional bathing rituals. In an increasingly fast-paced world, the hammam offers a unique opportunity for slow, deliberate self-care and profound relaxation. People are seeking a respite from the digital noise, a return to sensory immersion and quiet contemplation. The unhurried pace, the warm embrace of steam, the gentle touch of the tellak or nadir. All these elements provide a much-needed antidote to modern stressors. Imagine yourself consciously slowing down, allowing the warmth to permeate your being, and surrendering to the quiet rhythm of the bath, a profound contrast to the hurried pace of contemporary life, and the subtle adaptations that allow this ancient institution to thrive in a contemporary world. This final exploration invites us to contemplate the gentle continuity of a timeless tradition flowing from the past into the present. Many historic hammams across Turkey and former Ottoman lands have been meticulously restored, their original warmth and architectural grandeur carefully brought back to life. Beyond preservation, there has been a noticeable resurgence of interest in the traditional hammam experience, both among Turks and international visitors. Modern adaptations of the hammam concept also illustrate its enduring relevance. However, these modern adaptations often face the challenge of preserving the authentic cultural and social dimensions of the traditional hammam. The hammam, therefore, stands as a living testament to the enduring power of tradition and the timeless human desire for cleanliness, comfort, and community. The process of preserving historical hammams is a meticulous blend of traditional craftsmanship and modern scientific understanding. The quiet appeal of the hammam in the modern era is deeply rooted in its inherent simplicity and its ability to offer a genuine escape. Furthermore, the hammam's influence extends beyond physical spaces into the realm of cultural memory and artistic expression. The adaptability of the hammam concept also speaks to its strength. Ultimately, the hammam's legacy is a testament to the timeless human desire for cleanliness, community, and quietude.